Namaste, Geeta ma'am. My name is Prerna, and I'm so happy that I came across your profile. And today I'm about to ask certain questions regarding my career, and I hope that you'll be able to guide me regarding how to go about certain situations that I face with my work life.
So, Prerna, I'm very happy to meet you. And after having spent more than 35, 36 years in my career, I'm sure I would be able to give you some tips wherever you find that you need some guidance. So go ahead and shoot.
All right. The first thing is, I just had a call with my boss, and there are times where I feel that he gets unhappy with my efforts and my work. So, how do I balance this, and how do I handle situations where my boss feels that this work is not good enough?
Okay, there are one or two things when you think from the boss's angle. He expects you to deliver very quality results in time, meeting all the deadlines that he's asking you to. And also, he doesn't want to feel that he needs to supervise your work. So these are two, three things which goes on in the mind of the boss. So first, you need to check up whether whatever output you have given is meeting the quality standards. Have you delivered it in time without just prodding you? Because any boss, for that matter, wants to know that his team member will do that without he asking him, and whether you have met the deadlines or not. And third thing that you need to be very clear is that are you yourself sure that your job that you have done is meeting the quality standards? These are the first things that you need to verify. If you are very clear that all these things are met, he didn't have to prod you. You have given the results which are not having any mistakes, which are not sloppy, not shabby. Then you need to check up. There could be something going on in his mind also, somewhere or the other. During his tenure as a boss, he would have had one or two employees who would have given him that, or maybe even you yourself may have hurt him in some way or the other. So this is where you need to sit one on one with him and check with him. Ask him. You have to say that I need some guidance from you. I need to ask you about whatever I have done. So can we sit for some time without any pre-judgment? And then you tell him that you have been producing a really quality output, you are meeting deadlines. So what is it that is going on in his mind that you are not? And you say you need it for your in future to make sure that you do not commit those mistakes or do give him what he is expecting. Because maybe he has not been vociferous enough to tell you what he wants from you. And that may be, you may not be meeting his expectations. So unless he puts very clearly, this is what I expect from you, you are not able to give that. So just have a one word with him. Sit with him for about 15, 20 minutes. Tell him that you need his guidance. Don't question him. Ask him for his guidance. Then he will be able to understand that you really want to understand. You really want to grow. You really want to train. You need to improve. And then he will be able to share. And if there is nothing, then he will say, see, I'm moody. Sometimes it just comes out of me and you need to bear with me. So something like that he will tell you. Either way, he will be very clear with you what his expectations are, whether you are meeting that or not. And then if you are meeting it, then why is he getting annoyed or not unhappy? He will be very clear about that. And for that, you need to establish that type of rapport, which when you go one on one with him and explain to him, he'll be able to explain to you. Is it clear enough? Don't go on with
Yes,
that,
Geeta.
you go on thinking about it, worrying about it, then you're not going to go anywhere. Your work will be still not happy for him. So this is what you have to do, right?
Yes, Geeta ji. Yes, I did get a feedback, and he's very brutally honest with me. He always says what is true. He says it on my face, be it good or bad, mostly bad, because he's a boss and he has a certain way of looking at things, and he wants a certain perfection, which maybe sometimes I'm not able to deliver. So, me being in this particular creative field, there are times where our perspectives clash. He is thinking in one manner and I'm thinking in the other manner. And how do we balance this? Because he being the boss, I just have to, just shut up and listen to him. But sometimes I do feel that my voice should also be heard, or my way should also be taken in consideration. Maybe that particular path can be fruitful for us.
See, as long as it is not clashing with your principles, you should accept because he's the boss and he's expecting results from you. And he expects in a certain manner. So if he's expecting that in a certain manner and you're not able to deliver, then you really have to work on yourself. Because these people have already gone ahead with so many years of experience and expertise that whatever they are telling you, it is from their experience. And if you are not able to meet that, then there is something which is not okay with you. If you can really not get along, then you need to shift or change your job. But if you understand that he has worked for so many years and he knows his job, then you need to make the shift in your work. You have to do that. But if it is completely going against your principles, I will tell you sometimes it has happened with me. You know, some of your bosses are expecting, to take some, this thing for doing some favor, and I'm completely against that. So that is not in line with me. So I tell very clearly, this is what I'm going to do, and if this is not accepted, please change, shift me. There are other people who can work with you. I don't. I can go into another department. I'm very, very clear about that. So it is not in alignment with my principles. That is what you. If it is not in alignment with your principles, then you can definitely ask for it. But if it is not clashing with your principles, it is only the deliverable that he is expecting. Then you have to go with whatever he is asking you. You understand that? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Geetaji.
Yes.
Yes, Geetaji. We do have creative clashes, not the other way around. We are very cooperative and he's very understanding, and I'm grateful that I have him as a mentor in my life. My next question is, how do I bounce back in such situations where I feel a little demotivated after making a mistake, and how do I stay confident and focused with my work?
See, mistakes are a part and parcel of anybody. People do make mistakes, but really understand one thing: how that mistake has caused. What are the repercussions? Okay, if the mistake is really grave, really having a lot of repercussions, then you definitely have to make sure that you don't make that mistake again. We learn from mistakes. And as bosses, we give the freedom to our people to make mistake and learn. But then, if it's having major repercussions, then next time at least that person should not make the same mistake. So I'll give you one instance in my organization where one of my colleagues he has to put the shift details. Now, shift details, of the employees in the system. When you put the shift details, you make some mistake. Then the person who's supposed to get, some remuneration for that, he will not get it if there is a mistake. So she came and immediately admitted to me, ma'am, I have made this mistake. So I just looked at, I said, just wait, and let me see. Only very few records that it was a new system we were implementing. Only few records had gone in. I said, it's okay. What we can do is we can take corrective action. If so many records had gone, it is very difficult. We delete that data, we check with the person and enter the correct details. So she came and admitted to me, I could understand that, and we could take the corrective action in time. If she doesn't admit, because if sometimes you don't want your boss to know you have made a mistake because you're afraid, you're worried, then that is not a correct situation. You should always go and admit that this has happened. Now, what do I do? With this experience and expertise, he will be able to tell you what can be done. And because you have gone and committed to him, he knows that whenever something happens, he's going to come and tell me. She's not going to hide it. And that builds a lot of trust between you and your boss. So do that if you find that something has been genuinely be concerned about making that mistake and take corrective action next time. And apologize and say that I will not make it and be very, very, very sincere about not making it. Because mistakes do happen. We are not born with that we are not infallible. All of us can commit mistakes. And he also would have committed that when he has come up with the so he will be able to associate. And when somebody comes and admits this has happened, that makes that person very happy. Because you are trusting you. So definitely when you make mistake, you commit, have a rapport so that they understand you. And then you say that this time I will not make a mistake. And for ensuring that you don't make mistake, you must have a checklist. You have a checklist that this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, and do check that every time you do it so that you don't commit that. Something else can come up. I'm not saying something else will not come up. Something else will come up, but that will be another learning experience for you. Keep track of it. If you found that you're making mistakes and you're not keeping a checklist, this is the first thing that you have to start doing. When I do this, this is what I have to do, and this is what I have to check from my list. Yeah. So let's think of those mistakes that have happened, whether it needs a sort of checklist to be checked and ticked, and then you do that. Because if there is a serious repercussion, then that is not going to. Suppose it is going to cost a lot of employees their salary. That's not a mistake that we can tolerate, and even the boss will not be able to tolerate. He may cover it up. If he is a boss, he will cover it up. But if you make that 3 or 4 times, he's not going to cover up. He's going to put you, right? Whenever my employees made a mistake, I always used to cover up. I'll put you on their side. I will take corrective action. I will take commitment from them that they will not make their mistake again.
Yes, ma'am, that's a very great way to approach. And thankfully, I don't make that huge mistakes, just silly mistakes here and there. But yes, I will make sure that I don't repeat the same mistake over time.
Yeah,
And the
if you have to produce the output, do a check before you give. No, like whatever
hmm,
going to give 1 or 2 check. You should have a checklist that I told you. If the same thing is coming again and again, the boss will lose trust in you. Right?
yes, that's there. But yes, he is a person who would just react. Like the first instance with him is aggressiveness. And then he slows down, calm down, then but he's very good with me. So no complaints. But yes, the blame game happens sometimes. I'll make a check on this and I'll work with whatever you have mentioned. I'll keep a task list and I'll focus on what I have to achieve rather than what he thinks about
Yeah,
me
before giving,
personally.
just check whether whatever whatever you made, that mistake is not appearing. So you know very well that I'm not making these at all. And then when you give something else would have come up, take a note of that and don't get annoyed when he's telling you. It is after all for your good. Your
Yes.
parents scold you because they want something good from you. They are. It's known as tough love. And only thing is, when he bursts
Yes,
out
yes,
in front of lot of people, then it hurts your self-esteem. If that is not happening, it is only with you. Then be happy that he is only for your correction. Any input which
yes.
comes to us is the one thing is there. Without telling you also, he can correct and proceed. But will you learn from that? Right?
True, true. I get your point. Yes,
Yeah.
tough love
That
is
is
something that,
Yes, that is what you have to understand. That sometimes when I get an output and I find that it is not good, I just correct it and proceed. But if I don't tell that person who has made that mistake, that person is not never going to correct that,
hmm,
right? I have
yes,
had to correct umpteen number of times, and sometimes I get very irritated in my mind. Why is this why is this happening?
y-
But then it happens. So that person also may have that feeling. So you need to ensure that this is kept in your checklist and you correct according to that and you produce an output which improves. No, regularly, if it is improving, he'll also understand that yes, she's taking my input and doing it according
yes,
to him.
yes. He knows that I'm having this never give up attitude and I take everything as a learning experience. Sometimes that makes him I don't want to be like a pushover or some I also need to maintain that respect. Yes. My next question is at this day and age that everything is online and everyone is working from home. How do we balance our life such that we don't get distracted?
There are two types of distractions. One is internal distraction and another one is external. Internal is when you are overthinking, you are analyzing, and you are going on putting yourself down. You are losing your confidence internally. For this, you need to get into a sort of like meditation and mindfulness. That is one to calm your internal voice. And you should start saying your affirmations and visualizations and all that, which as a coach you would have learned. That is one thing. The external distractions. This
Yes.
happens whether you're working from home or when you're working in the office. Now, how do we handle in the office? You may be in a closed cabin, you don't allow anybody to work, your boss may be coming and checking in between. Now, you have to be your boss when you're working at home. You have to keep your distractions away. Remove the notifications from the computer. Like now, when we started, you said, I'm going to keep mobile on silent. You need to do that. And when you are focusing, you are going to do 2 hours of work. Ensure that nobody is going to disturb you. Maybe even you can put a sit outside, do not disturb me. That shows that you are really professional. You are going to do deep work. And then when you are focusing and doing that work, you will find that your output increases like anything. You would have taken 5 hours to do that, but now you will see that in 2 hours you complete whatever it is because you have kept every distraction at bay. Take off the notifications, even those sound notifications, everything from your laptop, from your phone, and then focus on your work. You are going to spend less time on that job that you are, that is one thing that you have to do. And internal distractions every day, make sure that you have the morning routine where you calm your mind and speak all those affirmations. Which is, if you're overthinking and you're saying, no, I'm making mistake, remove that thought. You just go on saying that I am always doing everything correct, accurate. You can get proper affirmations from ChatGPT if you want. Download that and read that or speak about that and start visualizing that you are producing quality output error free and your boss is very happy with you. Start visualizing that and you will find that it is happening. 3 or 4 days down after my discussion with you, will find that this is exactly what is happening. Boss is happy, you are giving error free output. And have a checklist so that you don't make mistakes. Definitely do that.
Yes,
Whatever you have made
yes.
till now, write down that this is what I have to check. Maybe spellings I have to check, maybe grammar I have to check, maybe a certain calculations I have to check. All those things you check, yes, done, 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 then you produce out. You will
Me too.
definitely
I do
find
have this
results.
habit of writing. Yes, but I'll integrate the reminders and the calendar. And my next question is, how do I ha manage my time effectively when I have multiple clients to handle?
If you think that other people don't have multiple things, then you are wrong. Everybody has that. And everybody has that 24 hours only. How you manage
Yeah,
that is something
I
which you need to understand. Now,
I
first
just
thing,
wanted your tips and experiences. I'm sorry
yes,
to interrupt.
yes. Now I'll tell you what you have to do. You have to get your all the things into a master list. Master list, right now, there may be 20, 25 jobs which you need to do. You have got that in your diary. And then you need to categorize. You have to categorize them. Some are like, you have to follow up. Some are where you really have to sit down and write down. Some are where you need to, it is personal also. You need to buy some groceries. You need to buy medicines. You need to have an appointment with doctor. All these things, if you don't write it down, it will start coming here. Your mind will not be free because every time something is coming. Once you put it into the paper, into, no, I'm not telling you about any app. Put it into a diary. Then you know that it's there. It's not going to come here again because you have already put it in the diary. And something more comes, write it into that. And then have a time block system. I know many people may have told you or you would have heard it. You have to block certain time in your day. Okay. Say morning 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm doing my rituals. Then I have some time between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock or 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, which I work only on my priority item. And then maybe you keep 1 or 2 hours for all these, urgent jobs which you have kept pending. And it is becoming urgent because you have kept it pending. And that you have 1 hour for that. And then maybe 1 hour in the evening where you look at social media and things like that, which is your free time. Like that, you
Yes,
block time in the calendar and do only that during that period. After 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, just come out of it, do something, the next one which is there. And you will find that
yes,
in a week, you are able to, whatever your plan you are doing. If it's not been completed due to any reason, on Sunday, sit down and write down all the below ones, which I'm doing in my diary. Even today, I do that. I have whatever is spilling over, I put it over there, and then I take it in the uh, next week. That way, you will find
yes,
that you are managing the time. The time is not controlling you. You have to control the time, and then you will find that you are able to meet all your. Don't plan anything for Sunday. That is the time where you can re-energize yourself, get into something which is a social activity and things like that. And sometimes some spillover you need to do definitely, then you can do that. But otherwise, plan a buffer of 1 day, at least weekend 1 day, where you don't get into your normal official work. And that boundary you set when you are working with anybody else. Sunday I will not be. Unless there's an emergency, I will come and attend. But everything cannot be an emergency, right? So plan it like that and do it and block your time. Then you'll find that you are able to give good results. And just try it for 1 or 2 weeks and then let me know how it is affecting
Yes. That's an amazing tip. Like, I'll keep my Sundays free for no one, but just for me. And in fact, for the next upcoming week, I can just plan my calendar and block my
you.
dates accordingly, block my time accordingly.
Yes.
Yes, you actually answered my next question also with this particular answer. My next question was how to handle deadlines and the last minute stress, which I usually face. I do things in the last minute, but I do it. But even though it's the last minute, but I complete it.
Instead of keeping it
I
for
don't
last
stress
minute, as
about
I
it.
told you, you in that plan, 9 to 11 or whatever your time where you can devote, keep and during that time you continue one by and you will see that you are reaching the deadline and keep the deadline, not the deadline date. Keep 5 days before or 3 days before, depending on the type of deadline you have to meet. If it's a project which is running for 1 year, then we keep 1 month gap because there could be certain eventualities which are coming. But if it's a project which you have planned for 1 month, then at least 3, 4 days you should keep because certain things will come which is not seen by you. Unforeseen things can come happen. So you have to keep that buffer of 3, 4 days so that you are able to meet. And I'm telling you, I have kept deadlines all my life, and I've been meeting along with my team members because I start pursuing it such I make them to keep 1 or 2 days before so that they are able to meet that. Even due to certain spillover, they come and they are able to finish before that. And every month I've been implementing new projects like that. So because I'm actually have done that, I'm telling you this is possible and you have to do it. Don't you procrastinate. You think there is a lot of time, and that is why you keep it postponing. Kal ho jayega, kal karenge. That should not happen. When you keep certain hours only for that, you will see that this is moving. Slowly, slowly it is moving, and you would have finished it. Just try it out for the few deadlines that you are having. You plan it in the calendar and say this time I'm going to do only for this. See, before the weekend is over, you would have finished that on Friday or so. You are ready with it.
Yes, ma'am. I do, increase my wall clock by 5 minutes so that, I'm earlier. And I'll apply this tip to my calendar as well. And I'll try to make the deadline. If I have to submit something by 4 p.m., I'll make it like I have to submit by 1 p.m. so that I have some time or like a buffer period to
Yes,
manage anything. Or if there's an emergency, I'll be able to handle it.
right, right,
Um,
right.
my next question is, in this day and age where everything is changing so fast, how do I balance the research with my work? Like, I do research on new marketing trends, and how do I implement what I'm currently doing, like with my current strategies? How do I balance with
Why did
these
I tell
two?
you about time blocking? 1 hour you took me fully for research, right? No,
Understand,
and after
but
that 1 hour come out of it.
yeah, but
After
I
you have
do
kept
have
for
this
that,
tendency.
you come out of it and implement it. There should be 1 hour for implementation. 1 hour. I'm not giving you 1 hour. You have to decide. How much time you have to devote for your marketing. How much time you have to come out of it and come into the next one. You will find that you're able to do both.
Hmm.
Try it out.
Yes,
This is the time I'm
I
going to
do.
do
Yes, I
research. And this is the time I'm going to do for implementation.
Yeah, but like I have this tendency of, being very curious, and if I like something, then I'll get interested in multiple things. And then how do I, know which one would work or which one should be my main interest? This is the
Uh,
struggle or the challenge that
I
I
am
face.
also like that. I also like to do many things. I did my landing pages, I did my FBS because I want to learn. Everything I'm very curious. I do all my reels. I do editing of my reels because I want to try out layering, masking, cloning, everything I want to try. So I keep on doing it. Even if somebody tells me that I will do it for you, I say no, I want to learn. So I'm doing it. It may not be of that quality that you are expecting, but I want to do it. So that curiosity is there in all of us. And some of us are very creative also, and we want to explore that creativity. But then if you spend the whole time like that, then you are not meeting the required deadlines that you are supposed to meet, the goals that you are supposed to meet. And then somewhere or the other, you may not be meeting for the expectations of your boss or your family or whatever it is. So keeping that block time, you'll be able to meet everything. See, sometimes when I'm doing, when I start working on the read and I want to try out something, it doesn't come immediately. Then I go on doing it and I get into the other 1 hour that I have planned. But then that if I do that, then I know that I'm going to miss that deadline. So it is always better to come back to the deadline that you are having so that you are able to meet both. I myself know I'm not doing a correct thing. You got it? So you have to realize that. Keep that specific timing for your research activity, for your creative activity, whatever you have in your mind. Block your time. You yourself know what is more important for you. What is more important
Yes,
as far as your goal is concerned. If your goal is to learn these new things, then you have to keep some time for that and put these are the things I'm going to learn in this quarter because I like to
mm,
learn. I like to read. So I have some time for that where I devote for my creative activities, my reading
yes.
activities.
Yes, I hope with this practice of calendar blocking and time blocking, I'm able to control my impulses because there are times where I'll be like researching something and then I'll just get inside it and I'll just do deep research, which is not sometimes required. Like you said, you do so much with your work, you do masking and all. Those are like
If
high
it is
level
giving
stuff,
you
but
long-term gratification, you're going and research and learning it, it is giving that. But then you have to stop
yes.
it somewhere. You have to stop it, take it the next day.
Yes, I see that this is not a healthy dopamine hit that I get. Like, I just get into this loop of learning and learning. I'll be like one article after the other article, and then my entire time gets
It
over. I
happens
will
to all of
surely do.
us, even to me. Even to me. That's what I'm saying that, but then I know that if I don't stop it and get on to my what is my goal, then I'll not achieve it. So I keep it aside. Otherwise, I plan the whole week I'm going to do only this. My time is blocked only for that,
Yes,
nothing else. That is also one way. I want to do this research, I have to complete it. All my time is only for that. Then somewhere or other something else will suffer. So you know your priority. You have to decide what is important towards your goal. If it's a learning goal, if you have to prepare a research paper, that is important. Then you have to spend not 1 hour, maybe 3 or 4 hours only for that. So two blocks in your calendar will be for that in your day, right? So decide like that and then do it. That somebody else cannot tell you. You have to decide what's more important for me and then do it.
yes, yes. I'll surely implement whatever you say. I think you've also answered my next question, which was how do I stop being overwhelmed? There are times where, the work stress gives you the burnouts. So how do I prevent or like not
Yeah,
do
you
that?
have
But
to
I,
write it down first. I'm telling you, those who are very ambitious, they have this feeling of overwhelmed. And another thing is they are also very perfectionist. They are not ready to release it with half done. So, you have to make sure that you write it down. And then even if it is not 100% perfect, you have to release it. And then get feedback and then maybe change it. So, overwhelming is something that we cannot prevent for people who are very ambitious and, who want to do exceedingly well. But if you don't write it down and then start thinking only about it and not doing it, that is when you write it down, half your problem will be solved. And then you have a time slot only for those jobs, you'll see that it is good. Like butter. It will be like that.
yes. Yes, for me, yes, I do have this tendency where I want everything to be perfect, or I'll aim for that. And if it does not come in that manner, like how I thought in my head, then I do feel a little discouraged and
Yeah.
disheartened. And then that's why the boss also comes in and adds more mirch masala and tells, okay, you're not doing a good job. But
Perfectionism is
yes,
actually procrastination. We call it
yes.
procrastination in high heels.
Yes, I think that's the term. I was not mentioning that term, but yes, that is my issue, and that's like the only con in me where I am working on, and I'll surely implement whatever you have suggested me today. Thank you, Geeta ji, for all your guidance. I do not have any other questions, but I would really love to hear your experience. If any tips, any other advice, I'm open for it.
Um, Thank you, Prerna. I think with whatever I have suggested, you start working on it, and then after 1 or 2 months, just give me a feedback how it has helped you. Because after spending so many years, I can understand what you are going through. Because in the beginning, all of us have those challenges. We don't have a mentor. We don't know who you are. We want to do everything. Everything is not possible in 1 or 2 days. That is what you have to understand. Rome is not built in one. But so you have to face it out. You have to write down. Just start writing it down and then blocking some time for the priority job, and then you see that you are able to do. And once you start getting results and you are able to accomplish that, you will find that this is the way I have to go about. But if you don't write
Yes,
it
ma'am.
down, I know you told me that you are not a to do person, no planner and all that. But that is how you have to do it, right? You can't escape that. Somewhere you have to write down what you are. Otherwise, it will go on in your mind. Once it is in your mind and it is irritating you,
So what
whatever
happened?
you're planning to do, also you won't be able to do. Got it?
Yes, so what happens is I make the to-do list and that's it. I don't know, with my wiring or my brain wiring, I'm like, done. I have written it. Now to the
You have to check
next
it.
implementation or taking action on the list is something
Yes,
that I need to
yes,
work on
yes.
because
Weekly plan it
for
out.
me, my brain says,
Every week plan. This is what I will do in this week, and then take the spillovers to the next
hmm,
month, next week, and do it. Over 4 weeks, you will see that you have progressed. Not like what it was in the first, whatever you had written in the first week for the month. You will see that you would have at least completed 80% of that. If you have completed 100%, very good. But at least 80% is also good, right? That is how you have to do
yes,
it.
yes,
And
ma'am.
in the to do
At
for
this
each day,
beginning,
don't have more than two or three. Three things, 3 to 5 only should be there in the to do list for that day. Because if you put
uh,
many, you wouldn't have achieved, and then you get frustrated day end. But if you achieve, see whatever you have written, you will feel happy and you will be motivated to continue with that.
yes, yes. Our Instagram generation requires that instant gratification. I'll make sure that, I have a pause and I'll reduce the number of tasks. And that's a very good tip so that I can do something for a longer period rather than just, jumping from one topic to another. Thank you, Geeta ji, for the amazing, amazing advices and guidance. I'll
Yes,
surely implement it and I'll come back to you with my
definitely.
progress in
Do
a
come
couple
back
of
to.
days.
So I'll
Yes,
end the
ma'am.
meeting. I'm very happy to have talked to you and at least given you some guidance. And I would like to know how you felt about it. And maybe after 2 weeks, give me a progress of what has happened. Okay. Thank you so much, Reina.
Yes, ma'am.
See you then.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you. Namaste.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, I would like to know what you want me to cover next. And please do like, comment, and share with your contacts, and do subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.